This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup at Delco Meets, the number 4 business, register, and attend one of our incredible networking meetings. We meet the 1st through the 4th Tuesday at the Whole Foods in Newtown Square. We meet the 1st through the 4th Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Terri Lewis of Terri's Heart of the Matter. Terri, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Rich.
Terri, what is Terri's Heart of the Matter?
Well, Terri's Heart of the Matter is I am a relationship coach. I actually help women who are in committed relationships, they love each other, but they just, she feels like she's tried everything and she's stuck and just wants more deeper relationship. And that's where I come in. I teach her how to create a better relationship for herself.
How did all this get started for you?
Actually, it started way back when I was little. It kind of started in my childhood. I had a lot of emotions. I was told I was too much, too sensitive, and like my dad would say things like, "You want to cry? I'll give you something to cry for." And so I kind of learned to damp down those emotions. So several years ago, I was looking for a place to learn to process my emotions. And also, let me put in there that I've been married for 40 years, and my personal experience was we loved each other dearly, but I felt stuck. I was committed, but man, it wasn't the kind of relationship I wanted.
For those that are listening to the podcast, what are some of the, I guess, signs or indications that coming to Terri Lewis of Terri's Heart of the Matter is that right decision to do?
Okay. If you find yourself in a situation where when, you and your spouse are trying to connect and you feel yourself triggered, 1 to 10 with what he's saying, um, I'm your girl because I can help you figure out, it's not just, the trash or the issue. There's something underneath there that needs to be looked at. That would be one thing. If you feel like you've communicated, you try to communicate, he shuts down, I'm your girl.
So many things that may come up in a long lasting relationship, the ebbs and flows. People
Mhm.
have children and then the children leave the house. What are some of those experiences that you can share where you've helped people through that process and brought them back together or brought them to realize about communicating with each other again?
Okay. Well, I think a lot of times what happens is we're so busy, right? We're so busy with the kids, and there's issues that have gone on for several years now. The kids are growing and we're busy taking care of them. We can distract ourselves from the relationship. And what happens is the resentment builds. So then the kids are gone, and it's like, you know what? I don't even like you. And then there's been a lot along the way that needs to be healed and looked at and processed.
Talk about your process. Talk about your clients and customers coming to you and what they can expect.
Okay. Well, the first thing I help them do is it all starts with that love of ourselves. And we may not even realize we think we love ourselves, but there's things about us that we need to. So the first thing is teaching them the skills of really looking at themselves and what their thoughts are about themselves and helping them realize and heal some of those childhood issues or those issues that are holding them back. And then with the communication, as you learn to communicate, for me and for what I've learned, is when you communicate with your spouse vulnerably, like what's really going on, then you can connect a lot better. Because what happens is we communicate from like, I'm angry, you didn't do such and such. But when you stop and really come to what's underneath that, which is probably hurt I'm not being seen or heard. And when you can share that with your spouse, they can accept it a lot better than feeling like it's not that they're being criticized, it's they can understand you more.
You hit upon a really important word, which is
Okay.
vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I you can speak to this because I think what happens is when you're in a relationship, some of that gets tamped down. Some of that becomes, oh, well, you should know we've been together all these years. This is something you should know about me in terms of maybe that issue that's out there. But when you have the ability to find yourself and the ability to be vulnerable, it not only opens up a world for you in that relationship, but other relationships too, work relationships, friends relationships. People resonate with that, don't they?
Yes. And it's so powerful. And giving people their power back, like feeling like you're stuck and you can't do anything. And you really can, because it's that healing that we do on the inside and becoming vulnerable to other people, taking off the mask. What is that mask that we wear? And being who we really are is where we can connect with people. If we're not vulnerable, you can't truly feel loved if somebody doesn't really know the true you.
Who inspires you? Who motivates you, Terry?
Who inspires me? Good question. Who inspires me? Who motivates me? I have several people around me that I feel like me seeing them and how they can speak out and make a difference. I can't think of anything specific right now.
As people think about this is something that is identifying, as people hear us talking today, Terry, and they're identifying with some things we're speaking about today, they can choose a lot of different paths. What
Sure.
sets Terry Lewis and Terry's Heart of the Matter apart?
Well, I think my personal experience, there's nothing like somebody who's been through it, who has felt that, who's been there, who has felt stuck, who has felt like I had no power, and have been able to work through that and see, like, wow, I do have the power. And it was really me working on myself and just loving myself more.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given, or what's the best advice you give to people?
I would say to really, the best advice. It's all about like getting to really know yourself and being your um okay, this is my best advice. The validation that you're longing for is your own, and learn and I can help you learn how to do that. We look for validation. Am I okay? Is what I have to say okay? Is how I'm doing it okay? We look for that outside validation and we may not get it, or we may, but what we're really longing for is validating ourselves. We are okay. We are enough.
What's the difference between validation and feedback?
Um, Validation and feedback. Validation, I believe, is validating how you see it, what you feel, allowing you to see it from your point of view. Feedback is more like feedback is good, but if you don't get the validation first, I don't think you're open to the feedback, or it's very hard to take the feedback. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, because that's what triggered that question for me because I think sometimes we just want feedback, but we're not looking for validation.
I
The
gotcha.
validation can come from our own way that we see ourselves. In other words, that relationship, my identity is yes, I am in a relationship, but it doesn't become all about the relationship. I now have my own separate identity as to who I see myself. That's my validation. But I think it's hard because sometimes we want some feedback. Am I on the right track? Am I hearing you
Oh,
correctly?
oh, sure.
So that feedback really gives us clarity in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. But I think as we talk here, sometimes it can get confusing. Do you want feedback or do you want validation? Do you want help, or do you just want to go through the process of speaking what is a concern or something that has a need to be addressed?
Right, right, right. Definitely. But then I think too, I'm thinking in relationships, as we're communicating, maybe your spouse doesn't agree with what you're saying, like doesn't agree with it, but it's important for them to validate your perspective first and then talk about it. Yeah, that's we're thinking on kind of on two different, maybe a little bit different waves.
I think what this illustrates perfectly is relationships are challenging. Relationships take work. Communication is
Yep.
so important and probably paramount to successful relationships as far as the longevity of staying together for 40 years. That just doesn't happen. And it's work, it's effort, and it's not putting life on autopilot, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I've known a lot of people that have gone to the grave that stayed together for a long time. But when I look at their relationship, it may not be of what I would really want. I don't just want to coast through and be right. I
Yeah.
want more. Yeah.
Yeah, we want more. I mean, if you really want to enjoy life, joy and
Yes.
express and experience, you want that for yourself. You want that for your partner, your spouse.
Yes.
Terry, how do people connect with you? How do they find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, and they can come to my website. That's www.terrysheartofthematter.com, and they can set up a one-on-one with me.
Now,
And
Terry is with an I, so let's make sure people know it's
oh, thank you.
TerriLewis.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. Yes, 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 yes. You're right.
I know there's so much going on there, right?
Yeah.
Terry, you're out and about in Delco and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you going for cheesesteaks?
Oh, I am going to Las Spadas.
How about for pizza? Where are you going to satisfy your pizza craving?
Double decker.
Double decker. Nice. The new double decker or the old double decker?
Oh, the old double decker. Definitely
You
the
have a
old.
convenience store need. Where are you stopping? Wawa or
Wa-
Royal Farms?
Wawa, all the way.
Terry, how do you describe Delco to someone who's not ever heard of Delco or who has never been here before?
How do I describe it? It's my home. It's where I live. I don't know. It's the place to be.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them to or take them to that Delco
Oh,
experience. Where are you sending them or where are you taking them?
I don't get many people from out of town, as you can tell. I did send them the double decker. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're going for pizza. It's a double decker Delco experience.
Yes. Yes.
Terry, is there anything else you want listeners to know more about you or more about Terry's Heart of the Matter?
Um, just that, I love empowering people. I love to help, women. I also do workshops and speaking. So I speak to women's groups. If there's any women's groups out there that would be interested, they can contact me. Um, and I currently have a 4-week workshop. It's an online one that's coming up starting in April.
Tremendous. Terry, thank you for what you do in the Delco community for help to strengthen and improve people's relationships and being a friend of what's happening in Delco. We appreciate you there and being a member of the Delco Meets for Business community. We look forward to seeing some more of what you're doing again to really make a difference in our Delco community. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.